All right, hey gorgeous ones. So it's another day in the Indie Eye Week series. I hope you all are liking it. Let me know what you think. Are you thinking about buying some of these palettes that I'm showing you? I still have more coming. I think I gotta start branching out though and doing some indie lipsticks and doing some indie, just be Indian it up. But anyway, so today we're gonna be talking about the Strobe Cosmetics Divinity palette. So if you would like to hear about this palette and some looks, don't go nowhere. Alright, so let's talk about the Divinity palette by Strobe Cosmetics. This is my second palette that I've gotten from them. The first was the Creepy Cute, and it was a challenging palette because it was an all matte pastel palette. First I didn't think I liked it, but then I worked with it and I do like it. It's a, the quality was there. Now, so when I saw they were coming out with this palette, now if you're on IG, you understand that everybody does these previews and they preview colors and they show you something and then you go, ooh. Well, let me tell you, the first thing that drew me in was the names of the shadows. So the first thing was when I started seeing the names, I was like, oh snap. And so let me show you the names. They're Hathor, Oshun, Ketish, Aphrodite, Milda, Bastet, Rati, and Freya. Now, all of these are ancient goddesses of love, sexuality, sensuality, home. All of them were in reference to things that are feminine, that are considered the feminine energy, and they celebrated us as women. Now, I'm kind of into goddesses, just to let you know, and I understand them from what they were, not just because, oh, we're gonna pray to a goddess, but what they actually identified within us as people. So when I saw the names, I was like, oh snap, I am going to love this. And then when I really started looking and I noticed the colors that they chose the colors that are kind of identified with each goddess. Like for instance, I knew it immediately when I saw the Oshun, and it was that yellow, because Oshun is an African goddess, and that is one of her colors, the sweet waters of Oshun, and this is one of her colors. So when I saw that they were actually being true to what they were using, not just the names, but actually did the research to do something like that, that was just like, yes, I have got to have this palette. Even if I didn't like it, I was still buying it because that was such attention to detail and taking it seriously, so that was that. Now let's talk about the palette itself. Palette is $35. That's their standard price for an 8-pan palette. This one is 6 mattes, 2 shimmers, and so this was new since this is their second palette. The first was all matte, so it was like, ooh, they got some shimmers. Okay, and I love them because they didn't do too many shimmers. Y'all know who I am. I like mattes, so for it to be 6 and 2, that's right around the numbers I like. I even like 5 and 3 in an 8-pan, but don't be giving me a bunch of shimmers and 2 mattes. I just no. And because the reason why I like that from that standpoint is because you can really build a good solid look with mattes. Yes, you can put shimmers in your crease and everything, but when you really I love a good matte look. Y'all notice I love a good matte look. So this was like, yes, baby. And even though when you look at the colors, they look like, I don't know if they could work together, and it's like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do with them. They actually do work really well together. If you notice, you have the yellow of Oshun, then you have this beautiful kind of, like I want to say like a not like a tangerine, but a beautiful corally orange. And then you got this brown, but it's not a true brown. It's got in Freya, hold on. Okay, and this color, for Freya, it's a brown, but it's not a super chocolate brown. It's got a little red undertones to it. So it's a little more interesting. If you're going to have a brown, I like that kind of brown. So I think all of the colors were so good. Like you have the Freya, and then you have Bastet, which is a grayed color, which is beautiful for the inner corners, your creases, your outer corners, your creases. And then you have Milda, which is this beautiful green, and it's a little bit different than what you expect. So it's a little bit different because it's not a, it's kind of like almost a bottle green, you know, like how some bottles are the green. It reminds me of that. And then, of course, yellow is the color. I'm telling y'all, yellow is one of the colors. And you got this beautiful Oshun, which is like this mustardy yellow. So it looks like that. Now, what was the stars for me also were the shimmers. Because it was like, okay, let's see what they could do with some shimmers. Let's see what they can do. And they came through. The shimmers are gorgeous. Hathor is a beautiful, you know, duochrome with a little shift. It's like a pinky white duochrome. Beautiful. And then Kedish is this gorgeous purple. Look at this jewel tone purple that they put in here. Now, let me just tell y'all about this. Mark my words on this. Blue is the color right now. Everybody's doing blue in the, you know, the pop of cobalt blue. I promise you, purple's coming next. That kind of purple is going to be the next pop of color in neutral palettes. Make no mistake, because, you know, blue is going to run its course. And then everybody's going to be going for the purple. But honestly, now the shadows themselves, they are well pressed. They're not too hard. They're not too soft. You will get some kick up, but just a normal amount. Nothing like you're going to go, oh my God. I will say that Freya was a little more powdery than the rest that I've used. That was the most powdery, you know, had the most kick up. The Hathor, as I always tell you, when I use a shimmer for the first time, a metallic in a palette, I like to just use a dry brush to see how it will work. I don't want to pat it on because that's, you know, that's kind of cheating the system. And I don't spray the brush. And this is how Hathor came on today, which is gorgeous. It's got that pop now, of course. If I sprayed the brush, it would have been more intense. If I patted it on, it would be more intense. But you want to be able to see the differences if you can get some intensity with a brush, just a dry brush, because that speaks on the quality of the shimmer for me. Now, that might not be for you, but it's for me. So all in all, when I look at this, this is a really good, you know, palette. Do I say you should pay $35? Now, honestly, it is a little pricey. Indie brands can be a little pricey, and I do take it into account because they are smaller brands. Their, you know, economies of scale is much smaller, so it costs them more to make these. So I'm not mad at the price. $35. Yes, it could have been less. But I think she hand makes, you know, she makes her own. Because let me just be real with y'all. Some of these that have lower price points is because they're, you know, they're just buying shadows. And I'm not mad at them either. You do what you do when you start out. But this one is a beautiful, and the attention to detail with this is awesome. I will say this. This is the one thing I did notice. The Creepy Cute had the most intense magnet ever. It is one of the hardest, is the strongest magnet I've ever had on palette. This, it seems like they listen to people, and now we have a decent one that's not too strong, but strong enough to hold it closed. So when it comes down to this particular palette, the Divinity palette, yes, I do like it. Yes, I do think it's worth the money. Will I use it more? I sure will. If you would like to see more looks with it, let me know. Because I'm rolling through palettes. I'm rolling through, and I'm going to try to make sure, especially with this long, cool fall and winter season that we have in Chicago, that I use as many palettes as I can. And if you see any palettes that you would like me to go back to, or any palettes that you know I have, please let me know. So anyway, that's it for the Divinity. Now I got 2 looks coming up for you all. 2, right? I did 2 looks. I had 2 looks coming up. I hope you enjoy them. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment or 2. What are you thinking about Indie Eye Week? Are you enjoying it? Would you like to see anything else like this? I got some other eyeshadow plans coming up, other eyeshadow, you know, series I think I'm going to do. And also, if you are new and you're here and you're liking what you see, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I'm going to be honest, my schedule could be all over the place. You know you're going to see something at least 3 or 4 times a week from me, but I'm trying to get up to like 5 to 7. I'm gonna see Vlogmas. I'm trying to do the whole month of December. If I can make that happen, maybe I can keep doing it. All right, so first off, let me get my lights turned off because they're a little too much. I thought they were like I had a steady light, but I don't. So no lights. All right, now we're back. So let's start off with Oshun. And I'm going to put Oshun in the inner third of my eyes. Just packing it on. See how beautiful that color is though? So easy, so breezy. Now I'm doing it a little further than the inner third because I want to get a good blend. So now the next is I'm going to be doing Milda, and that's going to be in the middle third. It had a little bit too much at the top, so I had to take a clean brush and blend it out a little bit because it was kind of looking just a little too much at the top. So next up is Bastet, and that's what I'm going to use on the outer part of my eye, the outer V. And bring it up just a little bit. So I'm just taking brushes just to blend it out and make sure that it's a clean look. And then I'm taking a little more Milda to blend it in. And now I'm going to take some of the Hathor and put it on a brush. And I'm going to blend that into the middle on top of the Milda. And so then I'm going to put a little more Milda on top of it, so it'll give it a more iridescent feel, because the Hathor had like just blended over top of that. So now I'm just going to like give it a, you know, blend it out a little bit so I get a little sparkle duochrome with the green. And I'm going to do that to the other eye. But you see how easily that Milda came on. I mean, the Hathor, because it was just like it was dry brush and it was intense. Now I'm going in with the Oshun again, and I'm just trying to blend it in with the Milda. I'm just trying to get everything blended so there's no harsh lines in between the three colors. And, you know, give it a little cleanup because the edges was rough. And so I'm going to finish up the rest of my makeup, make sure everything looks good, and I'm gonna come right back and let you see the change. All right, so here it is. This is it. It came out really good. I like how it came out. Of course I do, because I'm showing it to you. But it's a nice little rainbowy kind of effect on the eyes with a very kind of smoky, greeny thing going on. All right, so next up, here comes the next look. All right, so we're gonna start the next look with Rati. That's what I'm gonna be using as my transition color. It's a very nice transition color. It's like a nice mid-tone brown, very light, tannish, brownish color. Builds up really nicely. So now I'm using Aphrodite in my crease, which I forgot to tell you at that point, but I'm using Aphrodite in the crease. And now I'm going into the outer V with the Freya. I guess I just kept forgetting to show y'all what colors I was using. Sorry. I'm using Freya, which is the brown in the palette. Now I'm just using a fluffy brush just to blend it out. And I'm still not happy with this, so I'm going to add a little more brown. Alright, now I'm going back in with the Aphrodite in the crease. And I'm just going to do a basic half cut crease on this. Well, actually, I just cleaned up the lid. And now I am putting Hathor on the lid. This is like a really simple everyday look, but a really pretty one that anybody could wear. And so I'm going to finish blending it out, making sure everything looks good. And then I'm going to show you the finished look. So this is the finished look. It's a really nice everyday look. Not too bold, not too understated, but just right for a really good day look. Alright, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Leave me any comments. And that's it. It's your Lulu. Be bold, be brave, be fearless, be free. See you soon. Bye-bye.